Preston. I'm one of the developers of White Noise.
My name's Harry Gray, and yeah, we're working on White Noise.
Awesome. So tell me a bit about your game.
So White Noise is a game set in a dystopian future in Shanghai where corporations own the city, and they're trying to produce the next class of servant robot workers using AI. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out, so they've resorted to using human brains in robots. You were one of the first versions of these human-robot hybrids. You were a failure, and you've been thrown away in a junkyard, but they didn't turn you off completely. And so now, you've been woken up by this woman named Val, who's talking to you through the radio, and she's trying to help you get your body back and bringing you up to speed with all the events in the world as you have lost your memory.
Wow.
And one of the really big things about the main mechanic is we decided to go in the direction of a rail slider. We were both inspired by games like Sonic, Ratchet and Clank, as well as some of the more modern Sunset Overdrive and Bioshock Infinite. Their approaches to rail sliding they're both very different, and what we wanted to focus on was trying to merge those two together. So that means having some more free-form, open-world exploration using mechanic, as well as some of those more choreographed moments, like going through tunnels and the like. We feel that the ability to go between both of them allows for the game to have a much more full experience, because in this world, for example, the freeform ability to move around is great for player confidence, it's great for testing, whereas in some of the more choreographed moments, like the tunnels, we're able to decide exactly what you see when you see it and give the player this extreme sense of control, which is always good for a fun experience, especially when we want you to feel anxious and scared.
This game is so detailed. So in a game like a rail shooter where the player may be moving very quickly through an environment, how do you load all of these assets so quickly? Like, imagine a speedrunner was playing this game.
So I can actually speedrun this game in 7 minutes as opposed to the typical 15-minute run. And that is one of the things that we really had to stress test, was how much can we load really quickly. And we did run into issues with that. For example, this junkyard was probably one of the hardest levels to run well because of how much content is there.
Yeah.
Which is where my abilities as a technical artist came in great handy. Optimizing the space, making sure that it was playable, and not to mention trying to make junk look pretty. Trying to make a junkyard look like an aesthetic space.
You definitely succeeded at doing that. I was going to ask, what engine is this made on?
So this is developed in Unreal Engine 4, which is scaled more towards artists, but it has great blueprint, visual scripting software, which allows us who are not programmers, we don't know C++,
Wow.
It allows us to make what you see here.
How is this lighting? Is this ray traced, or are these cube maps?
This is all baked lighting. So there's a few dynamic lights, but for optimization, we decided to go with a baked lighting format.
Okay.
That just allows us to accommodate such large worlds.
Yeah.
But there's a few instances where we use dynamic lights, but that's only for characters that are moving. And as you can see, that's a dynamic light on that train right there. And it really helps push the feeling of you need to move fast. So.
That's really cool. And so you two, just the two of you, made this entire game?
Yep,
So just the two of
about
us.
8 months.
In 8 months.
In 8 months?
At the end, we had some help from some of our friends who were computer animation students, Jamie Lozada and Keegan Jones. They came in and helped animate some boss animations last minute after we found out that we were going to be chosen for E3 by our school. So shout out to them. They were indisposable to this operation.
Wow, that is really impressive. And when does this game come out?
So we're thinking about putting it out on Steam. It's a student game, so there's still some stuff going on with it.
Right.
We're thinking sometime maybe this year. Right now we want to take a break from it because of course we're very tired. We have to look into the process of putting it on Steam. But it will be free when it comes out. If you follow us on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter @McClaryP, you can find out when the game's going to be released when we decide to release it, alright?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me about White Noise. This game looks very good.
Thank you so much for stopping by.